What are EA Sports actually cooking for FC26? A brand new trailer just dropped for their American football game, and I will show you why this is actually important. Because, you know, it's an EA Sports game. They use a lot of the same models, textures, lighting and everything in, you know, their different sport games, so they don't have to literally create everything again. So this is a trailer for College Football 26. As you guys can see, you know, some of the aspects kind of do look similar to, for example, FC25, but I will show you right now why this is kind of important. If we move over here to social media and we read a little bit about it, you can see that the game is actually going to be having dynamic lighting. This is brand new in an EA Sports game. So 7 PM in September will have a different shadow than 7 PM in November. The sun will change as the game goes on as well. It will also change geographically to match true to the region. This is huge news, and most likely it is going to be the same for FC26 as well, because dynamic lighting is something we have been asking for. You know, the lighting changes throughout the game. In the first half it's daytime, in the second half it might be dark, and maybe it all of a sudden starts snowing and stuff. We saw that they added a couple of features last year with new weather animations and stuff, so let's see guys if that will also be in FC26. And that is a nice new feature. A brand new thing as well in the game is that if you leave a game in Ultimate Team, you will actually receive a time penalty. So rage quitting is gonna be giving you more consequences than it did before. For example, it will be banned for 15 minutes if you actually quit the game. You cannot search immediately for another one. Let me know what you guys think about that feature. That is probably gonna, you know, make less people rage quit, I guess. Open world has been tested by game testers for FC26. It's still very early days, but early feedback isn't great so far. Ran on the Frostbite engine, aka Hypermotion. One person tells us it's limited. Let's see what EA can do.
Our teams are hard at work on a couple of new projects. They're building unique new experiences, virtual open-world playground spaces, where you, your friends, and the fan community can come together to experience avatar-based collective play, both competitive and casual.
Obviously, guys, this was something that EA confirmed in a press conference, that they're working on an open world, but most likely this is too early for FC26. Don't expect it to be out for the next game, because this needs a lot of development, but they're already getting a few people to test early stages of it, because they obviously need feedback to know which direction to take it in. And by the way, why are they not asking me for feedback? I'm the one who literally made EA make that game, but I've been talking about that for years. So, yeah, you know, that is what it is. I'm not one of their golden boys. I think they hate me. But here we have some new concepts for FC26. I would like to give a massive shout out to EAFC Concepts. Go ahead and drop him a follow, because these ideas are amazing. First of all, they've got this, you know, player growth overview. As you can see there, this is very similar to, for example, Football Life, where you have a full kind of projection of where the player could be in a few years' time. Absolutely love it. You can see his potential and his actual overall there going up. Then we have a couple of more things here. For example, more in-depth stats with players. You can see literally if you go into, you know, your transfer hub, you can have all of the stats there for the player that season, what he had for his current club. So you can also maybe change seasons in career mode. This would be fantastic. You know, if you start your first season and you play like 10 seasons, it would be fun to go back to the first one and see how your team has kind of, you know, developed throughout the years. That would not be a difficult feature at all to add. Before we keep looking at some more concepts, I would just like to mention that I did post a video about the new technology in FC26, literally on a scene gameplay. If you want to check it out, I posted it 2 days ago. You can find it on my channel, or you can also click the box at the end of this video. Here we have another cool feature though. You can actually relegate a player to a youth team, and he has decided to go with Marcus Rashford there to show it. Obviously, sometimes in real life, guys, football players fall out with their managers, and one way to really, you know, kind of punish them in the worst way possible is relegate them to the youth team. That is crazy thing to do. So here you can also see his club and transfer history. Really nice overview here, and he's done some fantastic additions to this, which would be nice to see in the game. Here we also have some more in the transfer offers. For example, you would have a buyback option That is something we don't have. You would also have a loan back to seller option in the game, and also add-ons. For example, you would receive 20 or 2 million pounds after 50 appearances. Cool bonuses like that would be really nice to see in the game. For example, performance bonus as well. And that is, for example, if you survive relegation, then you get an extra bit of money in your contracts. You can see that your wage goes up by 15% if you also don't get relegated. Things like this, guys, is often included in, you know, player contracts in real life. So having more in-depth like this would also be kind of cool to see on the game. Here we also have some new transfer values. Right now it is completely messed up. They really should partner up with Transfer Market, or at least try to just make them kind of similar to that, because that is the most accurate value of a player. That is what literally real life football clubs use and stuff to determine the values of players. It gets updated frequently. As you guys can see, it is totally different to EA's values of players. So hopefully that will be a little bit more accurate in the next game as well. Another thing which I've talked about before is the database editor. Here you can literally go more into depth, guys, on editing players, managers, team, even competitions. That is something that we need to see, because right now this is only available on PC if you have mods, but on console the editing is very, very limited. For example, here you could change the potential as well of a player. That would be kind of cool. And here you can also change the overall, absolutely, position, absolutely everything, guys. You can really go into detail. This would be fun for example, career mode players, and you can really customize your own saves here and, you know, get it exactly however you would like. Here we also have some more Transfer Hub additions. You can see more stats there. Interested clubs. Chelsea have already accepted a £35 million bid from Bayern, so you'll have to go ahead and equal or make an improved bid if you want to make that signing. You can also see his stats as well for the season. Really, really clean overview here of the Transfer Hub. We also have one here with the Squad Hub, which I've obviously talked about before, but yet again you can see like the interested clubs there. You can even edit the asking price of the player. So as you can see right here, there is still so much more that EA could add for career mode when it comes to small details like this, which would obviously make the game much better. So this would be something for player career mode. As you guys can see, brand promotion, a contract with a brand to increase your money on the game that you can of course spend on things to improve your player. And of course a social media tab as well for player career would be nice, or just a better social media tab in general, because right now obviously it was introduced in FC25. I feel like in FC26 they need to make it a little bit better, maybe add some more accounts that actually is realistic, and you know, the dialogue and stuff needs to be a little bit improved. As you can see in the top right corner as well, they've also added followers to your player career mode. That is something that we had back in the Journey days, so there is still so many features from the Journey which we are talking about now that would be nice to have in the game. So I think that game mode was a little bit ahead of its time actually. Here we also have a new matchday screen, guys, just a little bit more clean and better overview, because right now in my opinion the menus are very boring and kind of difficult to navigate for some reason in FC25. I would also like to see them do a little bit more with the international football, because they do have the licenses but we rarely see anything about it in the game. They also have the license of the UEFA Youth League, by the way, but for some reason they haven't added any Youth League tournaments or something into career mode, but that could be something we will be seeing in FC26 because they have the licenses already. Why not go ahead and add it to the game? So being a free agent as a manager could also be a fun feature. So for example, you get sacked from a club or something, and you might have to wait a few months until there's a new job offer coming in. Or if you just simply want to leave the club, you would have to just wait or maybe apply for some other jobs to try to get those. This would also be fun for normal player career mode if you're not a manager, just a player. And of course a lot of players, they turn into free agents at some points in their careers. That would be nice to also have into the game. Now, this is a bit of a optimistic feature that I don't think we're gonna be seeing, but it's called Eras mode. And basically what that is, you can go back to, for example, 2006 and have a season with, for example, Liverpool in the Premier League. This is something I think would be possible because EA have got the data. Their game was out in these days, so I guess they could kind of just copy the ratings and stuff, but the problem would most likely be the licenses. I have seen them though that this year, however, without the FIFA license, they have done more things for like flashback cards and stuff like that, like literally bringing back items from FIFA 14 and stuff into the game. So I think this would be possible. I'm not saying they have to do it every single season like 2011, 2010 to 2009, but maybe like 5 years that you can choose, like iconic seasons, 2005, maybe 1998. And that would be fun to have in career mode. Definitely would be a nice addition. A new user interface as well would be great because the current one looks so uninspiring and boring. I cannot believe it. What has happened to the menus, guys? It is so simplistic and dead. Look at this. At least have the stadium of the team that you manage in the background, like for example on the Journey, or at least have like an office or something that kind of moves in the back. I mean, what is this, guys? The menus are so bland. It's unbelievable. For example, here we have the menus of the pro clubs, and they look 10 times better than what the career mode one does right now. So that is something, hopefully, that will get a change. At least add like the stadium of the team that you manage. That is not very difficult. Here we also have another feature that was yet again back in the Journey, guys. Why are we talking about so many features from like a 6-year-old game mode? Cannot believe it, but basically when choosing a team, you would have this wheel. Instead of going right, 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 or left, left, you would just have this wheel, and it would be 100 times quicker to navigate between teams and choose them. I think this would be a fresh change that we will see in the game, because the team selection has kind of been similar for yeah, ever since I can remember. So guys, that is it. Make sure to go ahead and drop him a follow, EAFC Concepts. Let me know in the comments which one of these features will you be most likely or most wanting to see in FC 26 career mode. Subscribe to the channel for more, and I'll see you very soon with some more content.